Welcome, Spider Horses, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike. And why does
hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year.
As we ring in 2024, we're going to go retro, all the way back to the bygone years of 2023 as we look at three of my favorite movies from 2023. If you follow Geek Salad on Letterboxd, you can find my rankings for a lot of stuff. I really tried to be good with my Letterboxd rankings. And the movie we're going to talk about tonight, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, is in my top 5 movies. Now, we are only doing 3 movies this month due to my show. And I think we just kind of need a little bit of a break. But we are going to do 3 of my top 5. So looking forward to that. Yeah. I think it'll be fun. And so, Mike, just finished Spider-Verse about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I watched the first hour and a half or so yesterday. Yeah, I watched the last hour today.
Yep. Okay.
Really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, it doesn't have the same kind of brand new wow magic of the first one. And it was funny. It wasn't as funny as the first one. The first one had a lot more comedy.
Yeah. I feel like the comedy was, because this movie feels like it's about an hour longer than the first movie.
Yeah.
This is a more ambitious movie. And yes. I agree with you. I think that you can't replicate the magic of that first movie. You would never seen animation like that before, and now you're seeing it again. There were a lot of tweaks to it this time that I appreciated. A lot more watercolor.
It seemed like almost with the first one they were a little bit more experimental though. Like they did some interesting things with this one, but the first one, like, it seemed like every other shot was just something like new and unique. In this one, they did some of that, but it also felt a little bit more conventional.
They kept it. I feel like they kind of kept it within various worlds that would get more. Like Miles's world kind of stays normal in terms of the animation, but Gwen's world, you've got the watercolors. You've got when they bring in Vulture. Vulture, I mean, literally looks like he's being drawn on Da Vinci paper.
Oh yeah, and
it was a really cool aspect to that. There's a lot more action in this movie.
Yes.
Than in the first one. The story itself, what's weird about this movie is that part of the fun of Into the Spider-Verse was the relationship between Peter B and Miles.
Yeah.
You get that in this one, but not as much.
Right.
Mainly because Miles knows how to be Spider-Man right now. Yeah. So there's a lot of that.
This one, like a good chunk of it was focused more on Gwen.
Yeah, this is definitely Gwen's movie.
Well, I mean, the beginning and I think the end of it are very much Gwen's movie. The middle part, I think, is still Miles.
Well, I think it's Miles's movie in the sense that he's trying to figure out why nobody wants him.
Yeah.
And the reveal at the reveal close to the end as to why it's interesting. It is really interesting that, his universe was not supposed to have 2 Spider-Men. Yeah.
I mean, you do kind of wonder if they had planned that out when they did the first one, because the spider did have, I believe the spider in the first one did have that 42 on it.
It did.
So
but we didn't know if that was experiment 42. There was a lot of you can infer a lot from it.
Yeah, it begs the question exactly how much did they really plan and how much did they just kind of is like, okay, we had that 42 there, we can use it here.
I kind of have a feeling like they had the idea in mind. They wanted to see how well received Into was going to be. I mean, it's one of those movies that the love the love didn't equate to the box office.
Yeah,
Whereas this one, I mean, this was a huge hit.
big time.
This was an enormous hit. And
Yeah.
one of the best reviewed movies of the year.
Yeah, this one had a budget of 100 to 150 million, box office just shy of 700.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is a nice little chunk of change there.
It is, and it's a big improvement, just dollars and cents wise, to Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Into the Spider-Verse did do very well.
It did okay. I feel like its rental, it's kind of like its physical media sales and streams help more.
Just pulling it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, budget of 90, box office 384.
Yeah.
I thought it had done better than that, honestly.
Yeah, no. I mean, that obviously, across cost more money. It is also close to an hour longer.
Yeah, and you know what? It costs more, but not by that much.
No,
range of 100 to 150.
Right.
First one was 90.
Well, I mean, with all the controversy coming out over, how overworked the animators were.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we have to address, and probably why we're going to see a massive delay in Beyond.
Well, that and the strikes.
The strikes affected everything as well.
Yeah.
So but I'm not sure exactly how much of Beyond is done already.
Yeah, my guess is Beyond. We probably won't see Beyond until at least earliest end of this year, but more likely next year.
You'll see it, and I feel like you'll see it next year.
Yeah.
But with Across, what I really enjoyed about this movie, I mean, there's a lot of things to enjoy about this movie. I love getting more of Gwen's story in. I loved the whole reason why she lost Peter. It's because Peter was being bullied, so he decided to
become the lizard,
turn himself into the lizard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I obviously I think the fact that Gwen was just such like a standout from the first movie.
Yeah.
I think that's why they kind of gave her much more focus in this one.
Well, she's other than Peter B, she's really Miles' closest friend within the multiverse.
Yeah. Well, I would say she's possibly a little bit closer than Peter B.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I like that. I like that they kind of give you. There's a lot of little pieces that you have to unlock, really, to figure out, the whole multiversal angle. It was nice seeing Miles being brought into that and seeing all the different types of multiversal Spider-Man.
I like how they even had like some live actions. Like they had Daniel Glover as
Donald Glover as Prowler.
Yeah, and they had clips from Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Yep. And did you notice that every time J. Jonah Jameson was voiced, it was J.K. Simmons?
I did notice that. Yeah.
Every single one of them, which is brilliant,
including the Lego one.
Yes. I really enjoyed. I did enjoy. That's like the centerpiece of this entire movie. It's like the entree of this movie is the multiversal groupings of Spider-Man and seeing all the different types of Spider-Man that were around. And I mean, they showed it in the trailer. The you. But then again, they also did that in the post credit for Into. So,
and I gotta say, I loved Hobie.
Oh, Hobie wasn't my. Excuse me. This is where we differ. Hobie was not my favorite.
Oh, I really enjoyed it because the way he would kind of making like Miles a bit jealous over Hobie, but then when he actually brought him in, he was like, no, he's actually kind of cool. Everyone just kind of he gets along with everybody.
Yeah,
unless you're in this part of the establishment.
Yeah. Part of it's part of it is I've never liked the design of the Spider-Punk.
And
that's part of it. the character design was fantastic though. The Hobie, unmasked design was pretty cool.
And I also like the fact that like his animation, there was like almost like a newsprint going across him.
Yeah,
the whole time. It was that's one of those little things that I like. I like the new animation bit that they did with some of those things.
yeah. And that's the thing too, is that they took more. I think they took a lot more chances in individual character animation this time, as opposed to just the overall aesthetic.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, by the way, that Hobie was voiced by Daniel
Kaluuya. Yeah, no, well, just watching yesterday, I texted you. I was like, I know the voice, I just cannot place it for the life of me. And it wasn't until I watched the end credits, I'm like, oh, Daniel Kaluuya, okay. Because normally I've only heard him using an American accent.
Right. Well, I remember you also texted me, and I was actually at the bathroom in the Hanover Theater seeing Beetlejuice last night. But you were asking about Puppeteer, Spider-Man India.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's Karan Sonai, who you know is Dopinder from the Deadpool movies.
Yes.
And that was one of those things that forever, and God help me, it was just like, it's not Camille Nanjiani, is it?
I know it wasn't Camille Nanjiani, but I know I'd heard the voice before. And when you just say, I'm like, yes, the pieces come together.
Yes. He was a fun character. I like just seeing culturally a different Spider-Man.
Yeah. And Mumbattan.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I loved his ego. His ego was fantastic. My hair, which I really don't do anything with. You don't put any product in there. No, just some coconut oil. He was fun. The whole, what I love too is that explanation that of the chai tea and the naan bread and the ATM machine.
Yeah.
Nice little callback.
Come and get chai tea. It's like saying TT.
Yes. Who has some cream for your TT?
Yeah. So,
and then the villain of the piece, if we can call him the villain of the piece, Miguel O'Hara.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, for me, that's one of the kind of slight knocks I have on it is that, like, the first hour and a half, the villain was the Spot, and who kind of almost attained like almost a godhood in a sense with that collider, and then for the last hour, the Spot just pretty much vanishes, and you're stuck with Spider-Man 2049 as the villain.
Right. I mean, honestly, a lot of that's because they are leading into the larger Beyond story. Beyond is going to be close to 3 hours from everything I've heard.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can understand too, giving Spot time to kind of grow the kind of the more powerful, darker.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be Miles's nemesis, the one who was supposed to kill his dad. And you need to kind of give that character a little time to just take the cork off and let him breathe a little bit. But you need to have someone else. Now, again, we don't know all of Miguel's intentions. We don't know, if he's doing this to help Peter or if this is just one of those things he just needs to shut it down. And it is interesting too that he's also going to be coming in with an army of Spider-Men, whereas Gwen essentially has a couple of the characters that we met in this movie, and then our friends from the last movie.
Yeah, I did love seeing like Penny in her mech, and that quick shot of Spider-Ham and Noir Spider-Man.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be fun to see them back. Yeah. And my love of Spider-Ham.
And because of my love of anime, I had a soft spot for seeing Penny again.
Yeah,
in her big mech, that was cool. Straight out of Gundam.
Yeah, and you had mentioned too that you were pleased that they gave Rio more to do in this. I was too.
Yeah, because in the first one, it was very much Miles and his father, and Rio was there, but not a whole lot. This one,
Right.
it was really. I mean, there was a lot for Miles and his father to do, but there was a lot more connection between Miles and Rio.
Right. And I like that. I like seeing the more cohesive family unit. I love
Yeah.
the whole, the whole thing about, certain words are going to trigger her, which I love,
And when she found out he got a B in Spanish,
yeah.
Spanglish.
Right. Well, that's the other thing too. I love that he attempted to try to speak Spanish to Miguel.
Yeah. He even tried to give him that I don't know what it was, but that little hamburger thing.
Excuse me. The it really this was a very interesting movie. I mean, why is it on the top of my, one of the movies at the top of my list? The animation is superb.
Yes.
In this. I do feel like they pulled focus to the right characters when they needed to pull the right focus to the right characters.
Yeah.
I did love too the tie back from the beginning where Gwen she's just mindlessly smashing on the drums to at the very end saying, I've got my own band now.
Yeah.
And it's all of the spiders. I really love that. The storytelling in this was really great, and it's something you can only pull off with animation, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
These movies you could not do in live action. No,
and nor would I expect them to be too, because part of these movies is that visual spectacle. And again, if this were live action, I might have lost some points because it's not as, the visuals would draw you into this. I gotta say too, the music has always been great in these. I really enjoyed the music. Daniel Pemberton, by the way, did the score.
Okay, I like the music. The actual songs are what really kind of they really punch in the first movie. This one, the songs that are kind of most connected to were the ones over the end credits.
Yeah.
The songs during the movie I thought were good, but they didn't quite have the same punch as the ones from the first one, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I was like desperate to listen to the soundtrack for the first one. This one was just kind of like they were there, but they were kind of like hanging in the background, more so. And that's the thing too, is like Sunflower was such a big part of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That there wasn't you again, and I'll give them a lot of credit for not trying to replicate.
Yeah.
The beats of a successful Academy Award-winning movie,
Yeah.
I mean, they did. Nobody expected the awards success that they got.
Yeah.
For that, and this is looking to repeat that.
Yeah, I would think this one's got to be a front runner for best animated.
It's either, it's between this and The Boy and the Heron.
Oh yeah, Miyazaki.
Yeah, depends on how the international body votes. I just listen to Mike, and Oscar, so it's really going to depend because Miyazaki's only won once, and this is his last movie.
Yeah, he went for Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is Miyazaki's last movie, just like Spirited Away was his last movie, and Princess Mononoke was his last movie.
Yeah, but that was also 20 plus years ago, and he's a much older man now.
Yeah, but he's the kind of guy that, I'm retiring as soon as I do my next movie.
Exactly.
He's just gonna work until he's dead.
He's like the old guy in the Wolverine who's just like drawing Logan's blood and healing ability. And the thing about this movie that I really liked, and one of the big things I'm taking away from this year's, favorites, is this ability to connect with the audience, in different ways. This movie definitely connects on a parental, for me as a parent, to have that parental connection, both with Gwen and her dad, Miles and his family. And even from Miguel and the family that he lost. Oh, and even Peter and...
Yeah, Peter B.
Yeah, Peter B. and May.
And Mayday.
Mayday.
Hold the baby.
Yeah. I just think the baby just crapped. It was, and that was really, really cute.
Yeah.
Again,
And,
the spider. What's that?
no, when Peter B was having that like cool conversation with his Mary Jane,
Yeah.
and they're like, do you think I'm cut out for this? It's like, you're just asking for this now.
I enjoyed. I mean, that spider chase. Just
Yeah.
being able to sit and watch all the different types of Spider-Man and cats and horses and
Why does a horse need to wear a mask?
I loved Ben Riley. I thought that including Ben Riley in there.
My musculature is so firm and physique.
Exactly.
And when he sees Gwen's portal, is like, there's something strange going on in front of me. The walls are fine, the floor is fine, but this is strange.
It was a very fun way of watching it. And again,
fully tongue in cheek too.
Yeah, like I said, what I'm looking for last year in movies was to make sure, just to be able to get these pieces that really stood out to me, that really make the rewatchability of them come through. And we were going to see that in a couple of the other movies we talk about this month. Just the different methods of how they tell the story. And I really enjoyed this movie. Now, it's still kind of on the fence whether or not I enjoy this better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we are not reviewing, but it is in my top 5. But I don't know. This is a really good movie. I'd be interested in. I haven't done a side by side yet. Like, I haven't done like Into and then Across. Maybe I'll wait until after Beyond comes out and just like,
or maybe
sit on the couch until my ass grows numb
right before you go see Beyond.
Well, you can do that too.
Yeah,
just like with the Lord of the Rings.
Except much less needed for a bathroom break in between.
Well, I don't know, 3 hours. That's still a lot. Yeah, but overall, I think this movie is complete aces. I love it. I was so happy to see it come up on Netflix of all places after once it dropped VOD streaming.
Yeah, I was worried it would go to Stars.
I'm not. I have Stars. I was actually expecting to go on Stars too, but I do remember when Into came out. I bought that on Blu-ray, and I got the digital copy of it. But yeah, that hit Netflix pretty quickly after.
Yeah. All in all, I really, really enjoyed this one. Again, not quite as much as the first one, but it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 versus Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for me. It's like you're never going to be able to replicate that initial just wow. They pulled it off. Yeah.
It all comes down to at that point where are you going to exceed, where you're going to succeed from your original, and that comes within the ambition of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Again, this is a far more ambitious story than the first movie. And that first movie was ambitious as hell.
Yeah.
So ambitious, I thought it was a bad idea when I first saw the trailer. I am so happy when I'm wrong.
The only downside I have to this one is that just it's half a movie, which because so a lot of it, they like that last hour is pretty much just set up for part 3. It was a good setup.
Yeah.
But a lot of setup with
right. But I feel though and this is the thing, unlike Dune.
Yes.
Where it ended made sense because it left you on a cliffhanger. Whereas with Dune, it was just like, okay, here's just where we have to stop filming now.
Yeah.
Did we get greenlit for this part 2? Not yet.
Hey, we've been teasing Zendaya the entire movie. Here she is.
Yep. But I mean, so I understand the need. I mean, also, where's your cutoff?
Yeah.
Where's your lead into that third movie? And do you really want to add like that last 45 minutes into the other movie, or just have it up front, place it up front, so then we can get that longer conclusion.
Yeah. And also this one, it felt like it had Return of the King syndrome, where it had like 3 different endings. Like when like Spider-Man, when Miles is just kind of like walking, like, making his way through the city, and the other kinds of, and like Miles, Miguel, and the others it looks like they're stalking him. I thought, okay, they're going to end here. No, keep going. And then he reveals his identity, and you realize, oh wait, he's in the wrong dimension. End it there. Oh wait, no, gonna keep going.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is with that, I do like that we were teased that there was an evil Miles Morales. That Miles Morales is the Prowler.
Yeah, although as soon as he threw the gauntlet and he put it on, I'm like, oh, that's Miles.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. They kept talking about his hair and all. You knew that there was something going on.
Yeah.
But I think that was a really good play. You put him in the inescapable position with maybe a chance he's going to get out. He's totally going to get out.
Yeah, you got the shock thing going.
But I did like the whole. I did like that they kind of gave you that misdirection. You haven't seen Silence of the Lambs. Very similar to some misdirection that they gave there, where you think things are happening in the same place and they are miles, or in this case, dimensions apart from each other.
Yeah.
So it was a nice tease. I enjoyed that, and again, you get that iconic shot of Gwen and the band. She got the band back together.
Yeah, that shot I liked a lot. Especially how it starts with Gwen saying, like, I this is Miles. I heard him. I hurt so many other people, and then so it's kind of like that's Gwen's like dark spot, and then the ending was like I've got my band together. And like that's her beginning of her redemption almost.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled with it. I like the ending a lot. I didn't mind. I mean, it was one of those things that while you're watching, you forget. It's kind of like when we watched Infinity War. It's like, oh shit, I forgot there's another movie following, or coming up next year.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, funny enough, I saw this on Father's Day. I took the kids to go see it on Father's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, but again, I enjoyed this a lot. It really, as a fan of animation, really spoke to me, and I'm happy that we're able to talk about it now.
I do wish I had seen this one in theaters, especially this animation style. I bet you it pops a lot more in theaters than it does on my TV here.
It depends on where you're seeing it. I've seen both the Spider-Verse movies in really shitty movie theaters, so we went to Cinema World for this one.
Do you consider that one a shitty?
It's not IMAX,
I like Cinema World.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's just that it's like I used to go to movies near cities.
Yeah, I do think it's still better than entertainment cinema.
Yeah, which is where I saw the first one.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least entertainment finally changed their seats, so they're comfy now.
That's true. That is.
Saw the Iron Claw there in very nice comfort.
Yeah. I
could put my feet up. So anyway, that was Across the Spider-Verse. Do you have any thoughts on this one, Mike, before we wrap?
No, it's just makes me wish that the Beyond Spider-Verse was already out, but it ain't.
It ain't yet. So anyway, thank you for joining us. We want to know, what are your thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse? Leave a polite comment below. If you're new to the channel, hi. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps us in the algorithm. Also, subscribe if you're not already. Not only do you get all of our movie reviews, but you also get the audio feed for our podcast, Geek Salad, which, by the way, if you just want the straight up audio on there, you can get that at anywhere wherever you can get your podcast. So Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple. If you're on Apple, give us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. You can follow us on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads at Geek Salad Radio. So next week, and you folks are gonna have to deal with us. Just put up with us this month, because we're we're finally going to be getting some snow. I don't know how that's going to affect my rehearsal schedules.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going into performances in January as well. We are going to attempt to try to get 3 episodes out. If we miss a week, we apologize. But coming up next time, I was going to say next time, we are going to be putting on our pink and checking out the top. Yeah.
I thought we were saving that for last.
Were we?
Thought we were doing air next.
All right, I'm good with that too.
Okay.
Sorry, my brain is like going all over the place. So I already teased what one of them was. So yeah, next week we are tying up our sneakers, and we are going to review the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck directed Air.
Really? I didn't realize he directed this one.
Ben Affleck directed this movie. Again, one of my favorite movies. We'll talk about the storytelling. We'll talk about how I was inspired by this movie. In fact, we kind of discussed this on our podcast over the summer, but you're just going to have to figure out what that is. Or go back and listen, because I did reference it. So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.